Hi, it's Miss B. Today we're going to do page 10 and 11. We're going to do the cursive letter D. Like we learned in lessons before, a lot of the letters in cursive come from what we call a magic C. And the magic C bunny reminds us that many letters start off with a C and then we turn them into other letters because this is a stroke we use for a lot of letters. So we make a C here, we come up like a helicopter. Now we're going to continue to go up higher. Then we're going to use the retracing stroke and we're going to come down and we're going to travel away. Okay, let's try a few. Start on the dot, copy D. Start on the dot, make a magic C, bump the top, bump the bottom, come up like a helicopter and up higher. It's a lot like when we made the A, only we go up higher. Now retrace that and travel away. Okay, relax your arm, relax your hand, take a breath. Remember, this is relaxing and fun. Start at the dot, make a C, bump the top, bump the bottom, up like a helicopter, up higher, stop, retrace, come back down and travel away. Remember that I don't want you to erase. If you don't like the way you make a letter, I want you to just try to do better on the next letter that you practice. Come up like a helicopter, back down, travel away. Now we're going to check D. And what that means is we're going to make the D, bump the top, bump the bottom, travel up like a helicopter, up higher, down, travel away, and we're going to look at it and we're going to see if we think that's pretty good. And I do, so I'm going to check it. I checked my work and I think it's pretty good. Now, this is kind of exciting. We get to make a few words in cursive because we know how to make the A and we know how to make D now. So we're going to copy these words. So there's a word here and then there's a blank here. So one time after each one, we're going to copy the word. So we're going to make the A. Remember how we made the A? We make a C, bump the top, bump the bottom, up like a helicopter, down, come back up and over, stop, make the C, up like a helicopter, up higher to make a D, up and over and stop, come back, up higher to make another D, and travel away. Now I noticed right here I went a little bit below the line, and again, we don't erase. The only time that we erase is if we completely make the wrong letter. If we make just a little bobble or a little mistake, that's okay. Now we're going to do that again. Here we have the word add again, A-D-D, spells add. We're going to write it here. Relax your arm, relax your hand, bump the top, bump the bottom, up like a helicopter, up higher. And do you see what Miss B just did? I completely made the wrong letter. So this is an A and I made a D. So I am going to erase. Now when we do erase, it's when we completely make the wrong thing. Notice how I erase it completely and then I'm going to have crumbs on my paper. I'm going to wipe the crumbs off, get as much of it off as we can. And that is the case when we do erase, because I completely made the wrong letter. Okay, we're going to make a C, bump the top, bump the bottom, up like a helicopter and stop, retrace back down, come back up and over, stop, back, come up like a helicopter, up higher, D, come up and over. Now remember that if you're getting behind or you're getting frustrated, just pause the video, take a deep breath, relax your arm, relax your hand, and start again. It's very important that you have a good attitude. This is the word cad. It's not a word that we use very much, is it? Cad. I think a cad is a person who's not very nice or doesn't have very good manners. C-A-D, cad. We make the magic C, bump the top, bump the bottom, come up, over and stop, go back, up like a helicopter, stop, we're making an A, up and over and stop, back, come up and go up higher, down and travel away. CAD, C-A-D. We're going to make CAD again. Remember, if I'm going too fast for you, pause the video. Bump the top, bump the bottom, come up and over and stop. Back around, up like a helicopter, down, up and over, stop, back around. Now this time we're going to come up higher because we're making a D and travel away. Now if your letters don't look like mine, that's okay. I've been teaching cursive writing for many years. And when I started learning how to do cursive writing, my letters weren't perfect either. That's why we practice. That's why we have a good attitude. Now we're going to do the word D-A-D, dad. We're going to start with a D. We're going to make a magic C. We're going to come up like a helicopter, up higher, down, come up and over and stop. Make another C, but we're going to turn it into an A. We're going to come up, stop, down, up and over, stop. We're going to make another D. And we're going to have D, A, D, and travel away. One more time, we're going to make the word dad. Make a magic C, bump the top, bump the bottom, come up and over, stop. Retrace back, come up, stop, down, over, stop. Now this time we're going to come up higher because it's a D, and you know what Miss B just did? Do you see my mistake? The word is D-A-D, dad, and I wrote C-A-D, cad. So do you think I'm going to erase? Yes. Spoiler alert. Yes. I'm going to erase it. I'm going to erase it the best that I can to get it clean. And then brush the crumbs away. And start again, and I'm going to make D-A-D. Make the C come up like a helicopter, up higher and down, up and over and stop. Come back around and touch, over, stop, down, up, higher, down and travel away. Now it says check, dad, and I look at that, that's pretty good. Now if it had still said C-A-D, then I would know, uh-oh, when I checked dad, I didn't do it right. But now I have it right, so I'm going to check it. Okay. And now we're going to go to the next page. This is a page with some practice. Now I'm going to go ahead and do this with you, but if I'm going too fast, which I'm very likely to be going too fast for you, then pause the video. Don't get frustrated. Take a breath and then start again. After each letter D, I'm going to practice with a letter D. Notice that I'm not doing a lot. I'm not filling every space with a D. I'm just making it where I see a dot. Up higher and down and stop. Now this one, I'm not going to make a D after it because there's no dot. Now this says copy the models. Some of these are words and some of them are just practice. They're not really words. D, C does not make a word, but we're going to practice it. Now there's a space right here beside it, but we're not going to put anything there. We're just going to practice it in this empty one right here, one time after each one. So we make C, bump the top, bump the bottom, come up like a helicopter, come up higher, stop, down, come up and over, stop, and we're going to finish the C and travel away. We're going to do it one more time over here, DC. Make the C come up higher, down, come up and over and stop, back around and travel away. Now this one is DA, which is also not a word. We're just practicing. Come up high, down, over, stop. Make your A and travel away. Don't forget, if I'm going too fast, just pause the video and take a breath. Never let yourself get frustrated and upset. I have had students before that want to loop this A around and they make all kinds of, different letters and lines, and you know what, it happens, that's okay. C, D, come up higher and down, travel away. C, D, now this one actually is a word, A-D, ad. This is the kind of ad like it's short for advertisement, like in the paper or in a magazine, or maybe even you're watching a game that you play on an iPhone and there's an ad. They're wanting to tell you about something they're wanting to sell. We're going to make an A, come up, down, come up and over. We're going to turn that into a D, travel away. A, up, down, come up and over, round, up and down. Now this is the word dad, D-A-D. D, A, D, dad, travel away. How did you do on that one? We did that one over on page 10. Hopefully you did pretty good on it. You had a little bit of practice. Up, down, up and over. Now, if you do completely mess up like I did earlier, I would just pause the video, erase it carefully, brush away your crumbs, and do not get upset about it. It takes practice. This is the word add, A-D-D. This is a different kind of add. This is the math kind of add, like when you combine two things together. A, D, D, add. Try to make sure that you're forming the letters with C's. Try not to form them the wrong way. We don't want to loop around. We want to make a C and then come back. Like that, travel away. Okay, now to make C-A-D, CAD, we're going to make a C. We're going to come up and over and stop. Come back, touch the bottom, come up like a helicopter. Come up over and stop. Back around, up like a helicopter, up higher. Retrace back down and travel away. One more time, writing CAD. Bump the top, bump the bottom, come up and over and stop. Come back around. Finish your A, come up and over and stop. Back down, up like a helicopter, down and travel away. Now down at the bottom of the page, it says next to capital D, write lowercase d, start on the dot. Now the reason that they have the capital D there is for you to learn how to read a capital D. We are not ready to learn how to make a capital D yet, but part of knowing how to do cursive is knowing how to read cursive. So if you see this letter, it looks a little different than a printed D. It's a little fancier. It's kind of got this loop thing and this loop here, and we'll learn how to do that later on. Let's not get distracted and try to learn how to do that yet. We just want to recognize it so that we can read it. So what we're going to do is we're going to touch this. Now we notice we don't have the lines here, so we're going to do it without lines. Make a C. Come up like a helicopter, up higher, down and travel away. Was that harder to do without the lines? Touch the dot, make a C, come up, up higher, down, travel away. Touch the dot, make a C, come up like a helicopter, up higher, down and travel away. And one more time. Touch the dot, make a C, come up, higher and down and travel away. And we're finished. How did you do? Good job.